Fellas, I cannot tell you how excited I am today to talk to you about the newest release from Boadicea The Victorious from the Zodiac Collection. I've been waiting on this fragrance release. I'll explain more about why later, but let's just get into it. What's good, YouTube? It's the BowTie Fragrance Guy, man. On this channel, we talk about fragrances, of course. Obviously, BowTie Fragrance Guy is their giveaway, but I also like to talk about fashion, style, and grooming. When you walk outside every day, man, it is your duty to look your best and smell your best. And if you need help with that, that's where I come in. If you're into looking good and smelling great, hit subscribe, man. Make sure you enable notifications by hitting the bell icon as well, so anytime a new video is uploaded, you're getting notified. Like I said, guys, I'm super excited today to talk to you guys about the newest release from Boadicea The Victorious from the Zodiac Collection. This fragrance is called Opal. And again, I'm trying to contain my excitement about this fragrance. I'm going to run the intro, and when we come back, I'll do all of my talking and that kind of stuff then. So let's run the intro. When we come back, you want to hear my thoughts on it. You know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The BowTie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. We're going to jump into it, but really quickly, as I always do, I remind you guys, pick up, if you don't have it, my copy of the Gentleman's Blueprint, man. It's a lot of valuable information in there about becoming the best version of yourself and being a modern day gentleman. There's chapters in there on mindset, as well as a lot of other important elements that I think every modern gentleman needs to be conscious of, man. So support me, support the channel. Get your copy of the Gentleman's Blueprint. It's only $9.99, man. I sincerely appreciate your support. All right, guys, let's get into this, man, without further ado. The newest fragrance from Boadicea The Victorious, the Zodiac Collection, is called Opal, and I have it in my possession. The retail price on this fragrance is $1,200 and $300. Yeah, I know. But I actually was able to find mine discounted. Shout out to Max Aroma, man. They didn't send this to me. I bought it. But I got a code, or not a code, a text message sent to my phone a few days ago, when it said that certain fragrances were 30% off. They have Boadicea The Victorious listed as one of the brands. I went on there, clicked it. I was able to get it 30% off. So that's kind of sort of where I was looking to purchase this fragrance, more so in that price range. All right, I've always said if I can find it at a discounted price, I'm going to find it. And the brand is kind of undergoing some changes over the past 2 years or so. The master in-house perfumer, Christian Provenzano, who has done most of the fragrances for that brand up until about 1.5 years or so ago, is no longer there. And there's been mixed reviews and mixed emotions from a lot of hardcore Boadicea The Victorious fragrance enthusiasts about the departure of Christian Provenzano. All right. There have been maybe 3 or 4 fragrances that have come out since his departure. Defender, which is a fragrance that I have that I really, really like. I really like Defender. I think there was a fragrance called Decadence, and now we have Opal, and like I said, there could be one more, but Opal is the newest one. Again, the 12th release in the Zodiac Collection. Now, for those of you who have been following me for a while, you may know I am an avid collector of this brand. I love the brand of Boadicea The Victorious, and I had the other 11 fragrances from the Zodiac Collection. So next week, I'm going to jump into giving you guys kind of a run through and sit down and conversate. It could be a little bit of a long video, so grab yourself maybe a cup of coffee next week, and I want to sit down and really go through that collection. I'm so happy to now have completed it, and I really want to share my thoughts on it. So we'll sit down and we'll have some coffee together, and we'll converse about this collection. So, Opal, the newest collection from this Zodiac collection. The box came like this. The presentation on this collection has kind of changed. There was a pull tab here, which I pulled off. And of course, this particular part of the box, you can either just slip off. The new presentation with these fragrances, there's a little tab right here. And you just kind of turn the tab and that opens the box. It opens it and it closes it. And inside, well, securely, I can say that pretty securely, rests your fragrance. And this is what it looks like. Boadicea The Victorious Opal, the Chinese New Year, which is the year of the snake. So all the fragrances from this particular collection represent a fragrance of the Chinese New Year. You had Orica, which had a rat, which you know guys hate rats. Orica had a rat. My favorite from the entire range, from that line, Mokus had a pig on it. Tiangu had a dog. Torero had a bull. You had Hasu that had a rabbit. Hanuman had a monkey. What am I missing? I probably won't think of them all off the top of my head. Golden Aries had a sheep. Ambraxas had a rooster. I might have covered them all. Orca, Hanuman. Yeah, I may have missed one or two, but anyway, you guys get my drift. So they all represented some animal. So this newest one, Opal, represents the year of the snake. Let you guys take a look at the bottle. This is just crazy craftsmanship. So you see the snake there on the front. You actually have the same thing, of course, on the cap as well. There's the head of a snake there as well. Pause. But yeah, beautiful bottle, beautiful presentation. Now, I don't get into the whole proposition of value thing a lot on this channel because everybody's financial situation is different. So again, I found it at what I felt like was a good price, discounted at for 30% off, and that's where I wanted to pull the trigger. The other fragrances that I've been seeing fall on discounters from the Zodiac collections fall at about the same range, actually a little bit more expensive. So I actually think even for people that are waiting for it to hit discounters, I probably got the best price that you're probably going to find it at, even on discounts. I probably got a little bit better of a deal, getting the full 30% off of the full retail price. So Opal, I'm pretty sure I may be preaching to the choir about this, but let me tell you guys this. Don't ever just go by just our reviews or any reviews you see for people like, especially on places like FragranceGuy that talk about these fragrances, because sometimes, of course, some people don't know what they're talking about. I'll just say it that way. Some people do not know what they're talking about. Seen some mixed reviews on this one, but I am going to tell you ahead of time, I'm going to save the suspense. I absolutely love this fragrance. This is a master class of a fragrance, in my humble opinion. For what I love in fragrances and what I look for, they absolutely delivered on Opal. Now, the only one I forgot to mention, the release prior to this in the Zodiac collection last year was Dragon. Great fragrance, but I am more of a fan of Opal. Let's take a look at that bottle again, guys. It has the snake on the front, and on the back, it actually says the name of the fragrance. Some of the main notes you're gonna pick up in this fragrance is a saffron, a bay leaf, black pepper. You got some cinnamon here as well, suede, rose, geranium, tonka bean, orris butter, cacao, and they actually list a note of coffee. I'm gonna get into that as well, the coffee cacao thing in here as well. There's some oak moss in here as well, and I think there may be even some lavender in this fragrance. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna spray it, let you see the sprayer. So I wanna talk about a little bit more of a breakdown of what this smells like. A beautiful, controlled, pressurized atomizer. Guys, listen. This is so good to me. Now, I'm going to say, I don't think this is going to be a mass appealer. I don't think. But man, I think for a lot of us that have been in this game for a long time and have gotten tired, especially designer stuff with the same old, even like some of the niche companies now, like everybody wants to do cherry and all these different things. This is a departure from all of that. This is a fantastic fragrance. It is so unique, so elegant, so sophisticated when the fragrance opens up. And I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. The fragrance opens up with a slightly sweet, leathery note of saffron. So you get this leather. It's not overpowering all the other notes. It is actually blended to perfection. One of the first things that hits me outside of saffron when I smell this fragrance is this note of bay leaf, which is coming across slightly herbal but more minty. Yeah, it's giving me this herbal minty vibe, the bay leaf. So you get, again, a slightly sweet, leathery saffron in the opening, which is contrasted and more complemented, I would say, by this herbal kind of minty green bay leaf note and spices of black pepper and cinnamon. Now, there's a slight metallic vibe that comes into this fragrance as well, really, really early on. After like the first 2-3 minutes, I think that metallic nature probably is kind of help assisted by the bay leaf note in here. Although metallic notes aren't really notes, but metallic vibes will kind of create this cooling kind of sensation in fragrances. A lot of times metallic notes can be created by like aldehydes, which is very, very clean, or either different types of musk can create can create these metallic kind of notes or accords in fragrances. So you do get that as well. And again, it is just blended to perfection. And it is, again, unlike any other opening of a fragrance I've ever smelled. Where I am right now in my fragrance journey, I give massive amounts of points for creativity. When you can be creative and it still smell great, you get huge points for me. So I personally am a huge fan of the opening of this fragrance, but the opening is not the best part. The opening is the most unique part, but it is even not the best part. When this fragrance dries down, that's when it really gets good. This is good, man. Yeah. Very, very good. So, in addition to the opening of the fragrance when it starts to dry down, you have suede in here as well. So the suede kind of helps to keep that leathery feel going, but it adds a little bit more of a texture to the fragrance as it starts to dry down. So you get that, and that's when you start to get a little bit more of the herbal and floral nuances in the heart of the fragrance as well. If I'm not mistaken, there's rose in here, there's geranium, but you also can start to get notes in here like lavender. So the lavender, geranium, clary sage kind of help keep this clean, floral, herbal vibe alive in the fragrance that was kind of initiated in the opening with that bay leaf note. All right, so that minty kind of bay leaf starts to subside, but you still get these herbal, clean florals in the fragrance, again, primarily coming from the use of rose and geranium in the fragrance. And of course, you get that, again, kind of leathery saffron note, again, that kind of continues to keep the leather feel of the fragrance alive and add a little bit of texture. Now, as the fragrance transitions to the dry down, this is where I drop the mic. The dry down on this fragrance is next level. The dry down of Opal is my favorite part because it is creamy, woody, and sweet. And that is what you get for the majority of the life of this fragrance. Most of the herbal nuances and all that kind of stuff that's created in the opening start to kind of subside after about the 3.5-4 hour mark. And it is all about creamy, sweet, and woody. And man, this dry down, in my opinion, is to die for, man. You have orris butter in here. So just as the name indicates, this is not like a earthy, rooty orris root. This is orris butter. So it is really, really creamy. And it is still adding somewhat of a powdery element to the fragrance. But that is combined with the note of coffee and cacao. A lot of people say they don't pick up coffee in here, but what you get with a combination of the coffee and the cacao is more of a latte kind of vibe. And I picked that up strong. I do want to mention two fragrances that I've smelled in my fragrance journey that at points kind of remind me of this. But of course, because those are only at points and by itself, it's two different fragrances. This is still a unique fragrance. But there's a fragrance by Amouage called Bracken Man. It's discontinued. It's a gem. If you didn't get a chance to get it when it was out, then you missed out. But it is Amouage's take on a fougere. But it's different because it's done in a very Amouage way. It's a fougere, but it has all these very spicy, earthy elements in Bracken Man. So you have all the things that makes it a typical fougere, like the lavender, which you have lavender here, but then you have all of these spices that surround the lavender in Bracken Man. So you have like nutmeg, clove, cinnamon. You have those same kind of spicy elements here with the lavender. So that part of it, just for a point of reference, it kind of reminds me of Bracken Man. But on this dry down, I am kind of reminded of a fragrance from Maison Margiela called Coffee Break. I've talked about Coffee Break before, and some people were upset because it didn't really smell like coffee. And as I told you guys, it smelled more like a latte. That's what you get in this fragrance. That same kind of latte vibe that I got in Coffee Break, I get in Opal. So again, it is buttery and creamy on the dry down because you combine the orris butter with the coffee cacao combination, which is, again, more of a latte and still kind of has a powdery essence to it. The orris, coffee, cacao thing, both still kind of give powdery nuances as well, in addition to the creaminess and the sweet smell of a latte. And then it is enhanced, the creaminess of the dry down, by a beautiful, creamy, buttery sandalwood note and throw in the sweetness of tonka bean. This stuff is absolutely fantastic. Now, to balance those sweeter, creamier elements, you have some woody notes here like cedarwood and oak moss that kind of keep that masculine feel going. But man, the dry down of this fragrance, guys, is to die for when it gets to the dry down with the orris butter, the cacao, the coffee, the sandalwood, and like I said, the cedarwood and the oak moss. Guys, this stuff is good. It is a fragrance that is non-linear. It transitions. Like I said, from the opening to the close, you're going to get different elements of this fragrance. All of the notes here most of the notes I would say that they actually list in this fragrance, you're going to get a lot of those notes in this composition, and it is blended well. It is blended to perfection, and overall, it is a super unique fragrance that also performs like a champion. Wore the fragrance yesterday. I got about 9 to 10 hours out of it. Took a shower, sprayed it on my arm before I went to sleep. It was still there when I woke up in the morning time. So the performance is there. It is unique. I love it. One of the main things I love about this fragrance is it is very sophisticated. It is very unique. It is very elegant. And for a person like myself, again, I'm only talking about me right now that not only loves to, but has to, from a professional standpoint, wear suits and a lot of times even just business casual. This is kind of the perfect fragrance to wear when you are dressed up in a suit. It screams, again, sophisticated. It screams CEO. And I absolutely love that about this scent. So it's going to pair well for me, based on the attire that I typically wear. It's going to complement that attire perfectly. The fragrance was from the Zodiac Collection. Again, Opal is going to kind of create the 12 fragrances. It is the last fragrance of the Zodiac Collection, the last of the Chinese New Year, again, which there were 12. And to me, something else that I love about this is, in a way, off the top of my head, out of all the fragrances in this collection that represent an animal, oh, tiger is one I forgot to mention earlier as well. Tiger is another one. But out of all the fragrances in this collection that represent an animal, to me, this is one of the ones that did the best at kind of capturing the actual animal on the front and kind of the habitat that you would find it in. You know, we've all heard the term snake in the grass. Those green herbal elements here and the metallic elements here really put me in the mindset of a snake and it being in its habitat, again, outside in grass. So I think they did a good job with that as well. A few others that kind of stand out that were able to capture that is Hasu, which that really reminds me of springtime when you normally see rabbits in the whole nine, Easter's in the spring, you know. So Hasu did a good job of that. I think Mokus did a great job, which is the one that has a pig on the front, kind of capturing, I think, what that would kind of be about in my mind. There may be one or two that I'm missing, but anyway, we'll get in more into that when I talk about the collection itself. But as it pertains to Opal, for me, guys, if I put this on a scale of 1 to 10, 8.5, 9, a 9, at least a 9. Because I give the opening an 8, the dry down a 10, so that's meet in the middle at a 9. A 9 out of 10 for me. I absolutely love this stuff. For me and what I paid for it, it was worth every penny. But that is my time. I just want to give you guys my initial thoughts on the newest fragrance released from Boadicea The Victorious, the Zodiac Collection, which completes the Zodiac Collection. This is called Opal. I absolutely love this fragrance. What are your thoughts, guys? Have you had a chance yet to smell Opal on Boadicea The Victorious? If you have, what are your thoughts? I would love to hear from you down in the comment section. Now, as always, I sincerely appreciate you guys' time and attention to these videos. You don't have to watch, but you do. And I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe. Please make sure you are sharing these videos out to some other folks that you think could use the information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren, I'm the BowTie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell fantastic. So until next time, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.